Good evening, guys, and hello to people that are watching this that is on the recorded option. We're doing a live stream tonight about New Age BS, different teachings in the New Age that are complete and utter BS, leading people down a garden path. And we're also going to talk about etheric manipulation. And so I welcome any questions. I'm just going to chat for a little while before people come online. Guys, if you're new to the channel, my name's Tony, and I am basically calling out a lot of the New Age deception. And I also deal with energetic and etheric interference in terms of implants, overlays, and stuff that is attached to us in the etheric, and basically do work around removing that. And yeah, so if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And for those of you that are subscribed already, please don't forget to press the bell notification, because I'm getting massively shadow banned. I don't even know how much longer the channel will be up for, the way the censorship is going for at the moment. So I do urge all my subscribers to just click that little bell notification, click the like button. It all helps me. It helps this get out to more people and spread the message of truth. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to mention as well, due to censorship, also, if you could, please consider subscribing to my weekly newsletter. So if I do get kicked off of here, I'm not going to lose contact with you guys, and you know, I can still direct you to my work. And so I'm going to leave a link in the description below with all that gumph there, so it'll be easily found. So at the moment we've got 8 people on the chat. Hi Javanka, nice to see you in here. Guys, as I said, anyone got any questions about New Age teachings, implants, anything surrounding my work, or maybe even my opinion on different things? I don't profess to have all the answers. You know, I don't have all the answers. I'm all about people being sovereign, standing in their own power. We all have a little piece of the puzzle. So please do your own research, use your discernment. I mention that word so much in all my videos, because it really is a word that we need to fall in love with. Discernment is such a key word right now. Humanity has been hoodwinked for so many, God knows how many years now, not least by government puppets. You know, they tell you one thing and then go and do the other, you know. But also within the New Age, we have certain gurus that, you know, are working with certain, let's say, questionable entities, or again, leading people down the wrong path, where people are just not critically thinking. They're not getting a feel for the person's energy. They're not getting a feel for what they're saying. They're going with what feels good, and immediately just jumping into traps. And this channel, which I've actually renamed, I went on the Jeff Doherty show, and he called me the New Age Whistleblower, and it really struck a chord with me, because I just really liked it. So I've changed all my YouTube banner to the New Age Whistleblower. So I'm going to start calling myself that now. So yeah, so discernment, guys, very important. When you're coming across new information, there's a lot of disinformation. Obviously, there's loads of disinformation in the mainstream, but there's a lot of disinformation in alternative media, in you know, the spiritual communities, where it's all love and light, and you know, we don't have to ever feel anything negative. You know, not allowed to look at anything negative. So who else have we got in? We've got Witness Sovereignty. Hi, Witness Sovereignty. How are you doing tonight? Hi, guys. Love Child. Nice to see you in here. Pull over. It's the Popos. I love that title name. What dimension should we be in? I'll just get to that in a minute. You were right about many of the channelers. I'm going to get into channelers. Actually, that's a really good thing that you've prompted me on. So I'm going to get into that shortly. what dimension should we be in? Do you know what? We are physical beings, right? This is a realization that I'm having more and more. We are physical beings. We live in the physical realm. And what this spirituality, new age scene is trying to get us to do is go somewhere outside of this human experience that we're sharing at the moment. The more I go down this path, the more I am actually coming to the realization that yes, there is like an evolvement of consciousness, and we are coming across new information, and we are uncovering certain lies. But there seems to be this almost grasping to be somewhere out there or somewhere where we're not supposed to be here. And I think actually that at its root and at its core, that is one of the deceptions, because we tend to put, especially in the new age, we tend to put more importance on the spiritual realm than we do the physical realm, when the physical realm is just as important as the spiritual realm. So I actually think that this is one of the traps in that we're all trying to escape something that we're supposed to be in at this moment in time. And that doesn't mean that there are not other dimensions and we can't, explore other galaxies or dimensions, in other lifetimes. But right now, myself, you, and everyone else there, we are humans, we are flesh, we are physical. And instead of focusing so much on, trying to escape, let me word this right, because we all want to get out of this matrix, right? No, none of us really want to be here. I get that, but also we have to realize that we are here, and in that time we have to kind of play with the physical third dimensional rules, if that makes sense. So when you ask me what dimension should we be in, right now we should be in the third dimension, because we're all here in physical bodies. So and yeah, I'm not sure. Hopefully, that's answered your question. That's not to say that we, like I say, we shouldn't try to evolve and uncover certain things, but we have a responsibility. We're all here for a reason now. Many of us incarnated here to help at this time, and it wasn't to escape this dimension. It was here to, you know, do what we came here to do in this dimension. So that's my two penny worth on that. Um, you're right about many of the channelers. I found out the hard way. Some are devils in sheep's clothing. Wow, where do I start with channelers? Be very, 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 very careful. Is what I would say. Channelers, you have to. So I'm not saying that there aren't certain people that connect with certain things, but there are so many false white light beings out there. I worked with a channeler for a number of years, and essentially, she wasn't who she said she was, and her personal life involved drugs and alcohol, as I found out as it was going on, and she was channeling information, and a lot of people were following her, and I was following her, and it was a big it's been a big red flag for me moving forward. Having when I work with people and through the work that I do, I know how sneaky these entities are, how sneaky these energetic beings are, and they will use people as vessels, and particularly they will use people who do not keep their own energy clean and perhaps have a lot of unresolved trauma. And where I'm at right now is I don't trust any channelers. I see how the people that come to me have also been hoodwinked, and it's a big mess. It's a big mess. And the thing is, with channeled information, like everything in this reality, is they'll give you maybe 70 or 85% truth, and then there'll be the, as I call it, the dump in the punch bowl. So there'll be the part in the information that is complete disinformation, but it will be the part that is more beneficial for these dark forces. and thereby you get hooked into another program of the matrix, essentially. So my personal advice is to be very, very careful. And a lot of the information can be alluring, let's say, um, but you know it's just be careful, just be very careful. And yeah, I've had personal experience of that. So um, yeah, devils in sheep clothing, absolutely. And just the other thing on some channelers as well, and some healers, um, because because a lot of the healers are working with, you know, archangel energy or Arcturian energy, or you know, a lot of these false white light beings. Um, they are, and because a lot of them are working with chakras and a lot of the other overlays, they are very, you know, easily manipulated. And my point is that I'm not saying that everyone has bad intentions out there, and there are people that have very good intentions and are in it to try and help people, but they've gone so goo-goo with the new age that they're working with these essentially demonic forces. So their own intention might be pure, but you know they've fell for the dump the dump in the punch bowl, and they're being used by these energetic forces to hook other people in. And you know it gets into certain healers and channelers, and you know their energy's all over them. They've got you know, attachments, and they're hooked into certain channelers and things like that. So it's not, I'm not saying that there are not some good people out there doing some good work, because there is. And I'm not saying that my work is the holy grail and, you know, blah blah blah. I'm just saying, just again, going back to that word discernment, be very, very careful. And you know, make sure you feel on a very deep level that the person is in alignment, and you know, that kind of stuff. So that's what I've got to say on that. But thanks for bringing that up, because it reminded me to talk about that. It's not all rainbows and unicorns. Yeah, absolutely, Archon Buster. It's certainly not. And this is what the new age wants you to believe, is that, you know, just focus on the positive, and you know the everything's going to be okay. And of course, you know, it's a complete deception, because what you resist persists. It's like, you know, if you break your leg, you don't just leave it hanging. You go to the hospital, and you know, you get it sorted out. You don't just leave it. And this is expressed in the consciousness of the planet, because for eons we've been ignoring, you know, what is negative, and look where it's got us. We're in a complete mess, and we're trying to. There's a few of us that are trying to undo all of this by addressing what needs to be addressed, and we see it in our own family and friends. You know, like you tell them about the stuff that's in the food or in the water, and you know, all this stuff, but you get that blank kind of inorganic soul zombie stare, because it's information that they don't want to hear. And this is how the new age hooks people in so cleverly, is because it's full of information that feels good to people. It's all positive, it's all love and light. And I've spoken about this because people, well, most people have trauma, but a lot of really traumatized people, and there might be people in this chat room that are gravitate automatically to the new age, because things have been so bad in their life and in their childhood. You know, if you can just speak to someone who's channeling angels, and they're going to tell you that everything's going to be okay, then you're going to go for that, because you don't have to go and face the dark night of the soul. You know, you're just going to get told this BS that, look, you know, it's the mind. I had someone the other day. What did she say to me? She said that, you know, you don't have to be stuck in trauma. You can just shift your perception, right? This is complete new age BS spiritual bypassing, because I've worked with SRA victims, satanic ritual abuse victims. There is no way that someone that has been through what they've been through can just shift their whole reality in one moment of a positive thought. Not only is it misinformation, it's very, very dangerous, because people get hooked in for years and then they start realizing, well, I don't feel any better. In fact, I'm feeling worse. So we have to be really aware of all of this. And so, there's no easy way out of trauma. You have to face it. It can take weeks, months, years. And I had a pretty good childhood. I had some stuff go on. I had some bullying at school and different things going on. But even me, I've still got stuff that I'm working on right now. I still get triggered. And I've been doing inner work for, well, what are we now? Maybe 3 years on and off. So it's a complete fallacy and very, very dangerous. So it's definitely not all love and light, as they would say. You're more likely to get the love and light and the manifestations of things you want when you go through that. Once you face the dark night of the soul, you do that inner work and you do clear up your energy and all that stuff, and let go of all the things that don't serve you. LTB, been binge watching your vids. You haven't shifted yet. Great so far. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by shifted. But yeah, maybe, okay. I find it kind of weird that there's people watching me and binge watching my stuff. I'm just a guy that was born in Essex, and I was selling houses a few years ago, and watching the game, and well, I still watch the game sometimes for an escape, but I find it quite surreal. But I'm glad that you're watching the videos, and guys, if you think they help people, please share them, and I hope they help. I've had to go through a lot of these programs myself to realize what they are, and I've just come out of another one this week, which maybe I'll go into later, depending on how the questions go. Dan, I've been hiding so to speak. Okay, Javanka. So you've been hiding. What have you been hiding for? We're all friends in here, guys. I want to make it clear that this community is. There's no grey area. There's nothing we can't talk about. Okay. There's nothing we can't share. I love this community because the people that are attracted to my work are they're either really open-minded, or they've been through a lot of this programming, or they're just really discerning people. So we've all got this stuff in common. So there's nothing that you need to be scared to speak about, Javanka. If you've got questions, if you've got something that's on your mind, or you're feeling bad about, or you want to share, please just talk and we'll see if we can help. Bashar is a hoax. Oh my God, is he a hoax? That's the reason my horrible dreams told, and I can prove it. Oh, Bashar, yeah. I mean, God, who's the other one? The two, what are they called? Abraham. Bashar and Abraham. I mean, you just got to look at the symbology on Bashar. He's got the all-seeing eye. When his videos come up, and it all sounds so good. Get into the vortex. All right, so I don't have to do any other work in this physical realm other than just get in the vortex, and everything that I ever wanted will manifest in front of my eyes. Absolute trash. And I had this conversation earlier with someone else about the law of attraction, the mainstream law of attraction. So first of all, the mainstream version hooks people into and keeps people into a material mindset. Because you look at the book like The Secret, I remember reading that some years ago now, and I was trying everything to just think and feel what I wanted. And of course, it never happened. But yeah, so it's hooking people into the materialistic, satanic mindset of materialism. So it's promoting, just thinking of the car. It's all about thinking about getting lots of money, etc., etc. and which is, I'm not saying there's just anything inherently wrong with wanting material things. We live in a material world, and we need money to survive, so it's not inherently bad, but the main focus is around that. That's what I'm saying. But the other thing is, it leaves out the action part, right? When you look at the word attraction, it actually has the word action within the word, right? So because we're in a physical world, things we're not in the spiritual realm, so things don't appear just by thought. Maybe certain things do by chance and things like that. But for example, if I want a new house, if I want to build a new house, it's not going to just build itself, right? I'm either going to have to build it myself, or I'm going to have to pay someone to do that. I'm not going to wake up in the morning after thinking and feeling, and this house is just this new house that I want. It's not just going to appear because I haven't taken any action. And so we have to apply action in all areas of our life. We can do this think and the feel and the imagination, and yes, that everything starts with a thought. That's true. Like the idea of money. At some point, someone thought, "Oh, how can we barter with each other? We could have this. We could have." Maybe the elite did it, but it still came for a thought. All right, let's take another example. This chair that I'm sitting on. At some point everyone was sitting on the ground, and someone had the bright idea, do you know what, it would be really nice if we didn't have to sit on these stones and rocks. Why don't we invent something called, if we could just sit on something called a chair, or maybe they didn't have a name for it then, then it would be a lot more comfortable for all of us. So it started with the thought, but then someone had to design it, and then someone had to make it, and there, voila, if by magic, you have a chair. So we have to be careful with the law of attraction and realize that there's a lot more to it. And also we have to realize that we're actually always manifesting from our subconscious woundings as well. And I've spoken about this so many times before, in that if you've got certain wounds, betrayal, abandonment wounds, and they're rooted in your subconscious from childhood, then you might draw in people that will betray and abandon you. We repeat certain timelines over and over again until we learn the lesson. So it's multifaceted, that, but anyway, it was nice to touch on that. What else have we got? Loads of stuff coming in. Sorry if I'm lagging on the feed here. I agree. Hold on to your own physical representation. The whole blueprint of who you are. Don't let it be destroyed by the mood. Yeah. So this is another thing that I'm coming to realize is a bit of a deception. The idea that we're all connected. I'm still not sure on this, but I definitely know that it's very important that we express our own individual blueprint, as you say, Henrik. We all have gifts that we bring to the world. Not everyone's going to be on the world stage speaking. Other people, perhaps they're going to raise a conscious child. Someone might write a book. Someone might be a fantastic healer. Someone might be like completely empathic and their heart energy is beautiful. Someone might just be like holistically so intelligent and bring that to the table. So we're all very different in this sea. If you imagine the ocean, we're all the ocean is everything, but there's also drops of water within that ocean. So we have to express our blueprint onto the planet, because if we all express who we truly are, then we all bring our gifts to the table. And by not fully expressing your blueprint, you are not only doing yourself an injustice, you are doing the world an injustice, because the world actually needs you to express your blueprint. And you're also doing creation an injustice as well. And this is what this matrix system wants to hold back from people. It wants people to not express who they truly are, to not express their true opinions, to stay obedient, to stay subservient. And by doing that, it cuts off our connection to essence, to who we are. So we all become drone Borgs, inorganic souls, which I think makes us more easy, malleable, and manipulated by AI, other beings, and everything like that. So, what my goal is I love seeing people thrive and express their true selves and healing themselves and going through trauma and, just being that thing that they were created to be. And it's really it's not easy. I am not saying it's easy. Many of us have had so much trauma. Many of us have been birth bumped in terms of the non-human souls here, birth bumped into dysfunctional families, had so much trauma and abuse, which is the matrix way of holding them back in many cases. So I understand it's not easy, but to get people to that level, which we can all get to. I've worked with, as I say, SRA victims who have been through the most horrific stuff, and I've seen them thrive and really kick on. And you can tell why these people have been targeted. You can tell how strong they are and the gifts that they bring. So I don't know where I'm going. I'm just kind of going off on tangents here. But my point is, guys, that don't ever be scared to be who you truly are and to say what it is that's really on your mind. Because what happens is we police ourselves. Half the time the government doesn't even have to do it for us. We do it ourselves. Because as humans we want to feel accepted, we want to be part of the crowd. We are scared to go left when the crowd is going right. So what happens is we just fall into line. But when we do that, there is a very underlying dissatisfaction and unhappiness within us, because we know deep down that the direction we're headed in is wrong. And my opinion on it all is really, is if the crowd are going left, then I'll immediately look to the right. And that's not to be controversial, but when the masses are going one way, the chances are they're heading down a road of disinformation or a cul-de-sac or something like that. So I think that's how we're going to level up this world, is by truly expressing who we are. And I describe it as we all have a magic box, right? We have a magic box that is given to us when we're born, right? And we have this magic box all the way through our lives. And the sad thing is, most people will get to the end of their life and never open their magic box. They'll never open their gifts and they'll never express them. And that's really the sad thing. So this is what my channel is about. It's about healing and getting people to the place where they're expressing their true essence, and really that's what gives me the most happiness. So where are we going? Some of the fakers big time. I'm learning. They're learning how to fool us through what you say. New age deception. You're so on it, Tony. Blown away. Yeah, exactly. And you know what as well, like, don't get me wrong, like I really value this community, and I love you guys in on a level, but I never want people to just believe what I say or quote unquote follow me. I'm here to give my opinion, my advice. I spend hours researching things. I like to think I am very discerning myself, and insightful in many respects. And I put that out to you guys. And the work that I do, the healing work, seems to work for people. You know, I make sure I keep my own energy clean, and I try and live by what I preach. And if that helps people, then that's great. But what I want is people to be their own leaders. Essentially, that's my end game. I want everyone in this chat and everyone that watches this video to, yes, use this information, you know, maybe work together, whatever. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm here to encourage people to be their own leader. And there are a lot of healers and channelers and new age gurus that if you don't like what they say, or you know, you're not on board, then you're out of the cult, basically. So okay, so what have we got here? So, is Satan real, or is there a god? Right. Okay, so let's take the first question on that. Is Satan real? Yes, I believe there is an entity called Satan. Satanism is an expression of consciousness as well. So let's just handle that part first, right? So the people that run this world are Satanists. They believe do what thou wilt, which is basically, I'm all right, Jack. You know, I'll do what I want. I don't really care about you. I don't really care about anyone else. I'm just going to do what I want anyway. And it's all about me, me. Okay. That ideology is expressed when you look around you in the collective consciousness. If you look around, the overwhelming majority of people think that way. So the overwhelming majority of people are Satanists without even knowing it. Okay, so we have the expression of Satanism in the collective consciousness, but then I do actually, through my work, I've seen, you know, through clairvisual abilities that I have, I've seen demonic entities and attachments when I work on people. So I know that demons are real, and I guess, well, I don't even guess. I think, or I know that there would be an entity called Satan, and there's other satanic and demonic entities. You have Baal, you have Beelzebub, you have Anero, you have what's the other one? The sexual one. Jezebel. Jezebel's the sexual one. So yeah, and they all have their own expressions. See, this is the thing. It's not just one energy, distorted energy or distorted form of consciousness that is using humanity and siphoning our energy. It's a whole host. You know, you have, you know, Arcturians, Pleiadians, archangels. I'm probably going to get attacked in my sleep tonight. I often get you know, attacked in my sleep because of the things that I talk about, which I know I'm on the right path then. So, and then you have AI. You have AI that where a lot of this, I can actually feel some stuff around me at the moment as I'm talking about this. It's gone quite cold in here, which also happens in sessions and things like that. So yeah, then you have AI, which is the etheric implants and the overlays that I talk about that are kind of put on our etheric bodies, which hijack certain key areas of the body, like the heart, the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, the thyroid. You know, all this stuff that I've talked about in other videos that I remove in sessions. So you have AI that are trying to siphon off our energy. So really and truly, it goes to show how truly powerful we are, because, and I've said this before, that it's the cosmic joke. Humans think that we have no power when actually we're so very powerful. If we only knew the tiniest bit of power that we have, then it would be this game that we're in would be over overnight, because they wouldn't be able to cope with the whole of humanity waking up to their power. It would just be a waste of time for them. So So yeah, and right, okay. So the second part to that question, is there a God? Right. Okay. So this is what I think. This is what I've concluded. Okay. There, I believe that there is a false God, which people are. Well, there are many false gods. You have the gods in religion, Judaism, Christianity, and I believe that these gods are demons, and they are siphoning people's energy when they pray to them. I mean, you look at the word pray. What does pray mean in nature? It means, you're going to be pray for food, right? So I feel like there is a, let's call it a demiurgic god, probably like an overlord god, um, which is present. I feel like this matrix that we're in is ruled over by a, let's call it a cyborg, a massive AI cyborg, which somehow has created this. And I think that this is like an AI construct. So I believe at some point it was created by AI. So I think that there is some kind of AI, let's call it overlord, cyborg. Um, but then I know that there's true essence behind all of this. There is that quiet whisper. Okay, my connection's unstable. Can you hear me, guys? Oh, I'm back. Right, isn't it funny, right? Can you guys, can you just give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me? Because I got connected at a point where I'm talking about very interesting information. Uh, I'm hoping, yes, okay, great, I'm back. See, this is what happens, right? When I work with clients or I talk about certain things, or, after sessions, there's been a big, massive breakthrough in what's come out of a session. There's always been some kind of interference beforehand. So it was quite interesting then that I got cut off. So if I do get cut off again, guys, obviously I'll upload this video, but just be aware that there's some weird stuff going on. So I think about, I was talking about essence, right? So essence is that quiet whisper, that underlying knowing, feeling, the thing that when everything's down, when you feel like all hope is lost, something comes. Um, it's that intuitive connection that's saying, don't go there, or do this, do that, go this way, go left, go right. But of course, what's happened is that we have all these implants and overlays on us, which hijacks our connection to essence. It hijacks, a lot of the time I see a lot of interference around people's neocortex, which is the connection to higher thought forms. So there's a lot of etheric interference around that area of the brain, which cuts us off from that very thing that I'm talking about. The other thing that they've done is, of course, is they've got people in the head brain, which is it's useful for fight or flight, but the belly and the feeling as well is also very important, and being connected. It's the head is involved because, as I said, the neocortex, the spine, but it's also the connection of the three: the heart and the gut feeling, the belly brain. But the society has us that we're just in the head brain all the time, and we lose that connection. This is why people are finding it so difficult to discern, because they've got all this hijacking, and they're also being disconnected from the belly brain, and they just think that there's a stomach and it's for eating and all that stuff. But they're talking now that there's neurotransmitters in the belly brain. So that just goes to show you. So where's that gone? Right, okay, so that's what I think about Satan and God. So hopefully that's answered. They're saying you're not shape-shifting reptilian. They are saying you are not a shape-shifting reptilian. Yeah, yeah, shape-shifting reptilians. Yeah, they definitely exist. I've seen people. I've worked with clients. I can see the eyes sometimes. The reptilians have got a lot of skin in the game, so to speak. And you know, we have a reptilian brain, don't we? We have the R complex of the brain, the fight or flight that I was talking about then. So there's definitely a strong reptilian influence behind all of this. My own feeling on the entities, the reptilians, draconians, you know, a lot of these other things, I feel like they're also being used by AI. Everything's kind of enslaving each other in this matrix. Um, yeah, they're definitely part of it all. Um, at random, wherever I may be, I tend to blurt out something to an unknown person that only they know the meaning. Drives me out crazy, that way back from childhood. Yeah, so Javanka, that's what I'm talking about. That might be your, you know, that might be one of your gifts. You have an insight, you have an intuitive moment where you feel strongly you need to say something. You say it, and the person resonates. That's psychic abilities, what you've got there. But the thing is, we deny our psychic abilities because we're either scared of them, or we poo-poo them because, you know, we're not taught about psychic abilities in school. We're taught, you know, we're taught about algebra, right? When have you ever used algebra in your life? Well, so yeah, you know, we're not taught about energy. We're not taught about that we're energetic beings. We're not taught about our psychic abilities. And the, you know, the work I do is I have some clear visual abilities, clear cognitive abilities, clear kinesthetic, can't even say it, abilities. But the reason that's not to say nobody else can have them. I'm not special. I've just spent the last 4 years practicing, practicing, and, you know, working with people. So they're like muscles, right? The more you use your bicep, the stronger it's going to get. Well, it's the same with psychic abilities. The more you use them, the stronger they're going to get. So my advice to you, Javanka, on that is to really explore that, and, you know, use them, and don't feel bad, don't feel embarrassed by them. And, you know, maybe there's like some kind of modality there for you. You know, maybe you're some kind of psychic medium that can help people. So embrace it and practice. Practice on your friends, practice on your family members. So, you know, we all have these abilities, and you know, I think this is humans in their true strength, and their true power, being connected to the belly brain, being connected to their psychic abilities, telepathy. I mean, this is why they've given us the internet, to replace telepathy. We all think we're more connected, and we are in a way. I mean, I'm talking to people all over the world here, which is great. You know, there's benefits to it, but, you know, imagine if there wasn't all this online stuff and we lived in nature. You know, imagine who knows the potential that we could connect in that way. But now they want to do it through AI implants. You know, there's talk now that you can go online with these implants with your brain, and no doubt, well, you'll be able to tap into the AI cloud, which we're all going to be connected to if they get their way. And you know, no doubt there'll be ways that you can connect to your friend like you do. You pick up the phone and you call your friend. No doubt we'll be able to do that through the brain implants that they want to put into our heads. But the natural way that we do that is through telepathy, teleportation. You know, who knows what we can do with that. So it's exciting times. So my feeling is that we are humans in a physical domain, but we have these spiritual gifts, and, you know, we have sound energy as well. I think, you know, how did they build those amazing structures? You know, it wasn't through with a digger or people. I think there's things to be said for that we don't fully understand. So we're living in times where there's a lot of darkness, but there's a lot of things coming to light now as well. So the connection's just going a bit funny there. So I'm just trying to stay hooked in here. So bear with me. Okay. So just discovered you through Jeffrey Doherty. Yep. Abraham, guys, love child. Abraham Hicks hangs out with Oprah. Well, that just says it all, doesn't it? Because we know what Oprah gets up to in her spare time. She gets robed up at the weekends. Yeah, good point. I mean, what a crock of. I mean, and the thing is, right? There's a look that people have in their eyes when they're under a new age spell. You can see it, right? Look out for it. I've seen it when I've gone to retreats and been around new ages. It's like a hazy cloud thing. They're on cloud nine, and they'll look at anyone that tells anyone anything with dazzled eyes. It's you can tell they're under a spell. It's another spell. And I've said it on Jeff's show. We need to have an awakening within the awakening, which is what is happening now, which is partly what this channel is about. And you guys are a part of that, and that's exciting. I will send you pics. Yeah, please do. I'd love to see pictures of that. I'll post it on my YouTube. I've got 40 people on here now. We're doing really well tonight. I am sorry, guys. This was supposed to be on Saturday, but something came up and I wasn't able to do it. So apologies for anyone that tuned in on Saturday night. Guys, again, I'm just going to say it because if people are listening to the recorded version, if you're new here, please consider liking, subscribing to the channel. We are calling out the new age BS. We are uncovering all this mess that we're in. Guys, if you're subscribed already, please make sure the bell notification is clicked because I'm getting shadow banned. And please subscribe to my weekly newsletter, because if they take me off of here, I won't have any way of contacting you guys, and therefore you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing work-wise. So just a disclaimer there. Okay, so what else have we got? Find demons on I'll send you pics. What are you feeling on Joe Dispenza? I feel at a different level to me as far as change your life and use his research have done. Joe Dispenza, I'll be honest, I've not looked at his work at all. I can't comment on him. I know he's quite big. Other people have suggested some videos of his. I'll need to get back to you on him. I haven't formed an opinion on him, so apologies on that. I've told too many of these deities go through my space. Yeah, these deities work through many people, especially if you don't keep your energy clean. I bang on about it all the time. Alcohol, drugs, that kind of stuff. Gateway. And they hook in on our subconscious woundings. Again, I talk about that a lot, and my partner does on her channel, True Sovereign Self. Okay, any views on Laura Eisenhower? Laura Eisenhower, I've looked at a bit of her work. Obviously, she's an Eisenhower, and Eisenhower was the president of the States. So immediate red flags, immediately. I get the impression there's a lot of trauma with her. I look at her and she looks very damaged. She looks very sad. Let's put it that way. Something's off in that sense, but everyone has had stuff in their life. Sometimes I look sad, so her information so far, I haven't looked into it so much, but I can't say I've disagreed with any of it so far, but I've watched very, very little. Maybe I've maybe listened to one podcast of hers, and maybe I've seen a few Facebook posts for hers. So her information that I've seen so far, I can't say has been anything that's questionable, but I've not really researched into her so much. I was thinking of doing something about getting new age people on YouTube and doing like a review and going through the deceptions in the videos. I don't know what you guys would think about that, but it's a thought that I've had that I was thinking of doing. Kirk Blake, around. People have an uncanny ability to recreate trauma. Well, what they're actually doing there is just repeating timelines, or there is a resonance with people that have been that go through stuff. So you've got the whole empath narcissist. So empaths will be drawn to narcissists. People that were abused get drawn to abusers. People that had alcoholic parents will draw in alcoholic partners. So there's like an energetic resonance. So imagine that as a holographic blueprint within your subconscious. And what you need to do is change that holographic blueprint within your subconscious mind, and then the external reality changes. But changing that holographic blueprint is the work that, of course, nobody wants to do. So what happens is they repeat the timelines. The same people turn up and show up in their lives. They just have a different skin, and they wonder why it keeps happening to them. So we actually have a lot more control about these timelines than we think we do. We just need to do the work. Okay, what else have we got here? Paul from Newcastle. Hi, Paul. Is that Newcastle, UK, or probably Australia? So hello to you. Bring good to the world, and you will leave more when you exit the world. Yeah. So the way I see life is that when I lay on my deathbed, avoid bread, by the way. If you cut out bread out your diet, I'm just starting to do that now. I feel a lot clearer. Bread, I kept getting the message. This is interesting that we've touched on that. I kept getting the message months ago that eating bread was affecting my psychic abilities. And when you think of it, it makes sense, because what's bread? It's very stuffing. You know, you're stuffing your emotions down, and you're stuffing all the connections to your abilities. So bread for me is something that we should avoid. So bed, yeah. So what I was talking about. So my whole idea on life is that I think about death. I find that thinking about death is a good leveler in life, because we're all mortal. We're all going to go one day. I want to die knowing that I've left everything out on the playing field. I want to die knowing that I've expressed the true essence of who I am. That I've squeezed every potential that I can out of myself, and that I've helped make a difference in the world, and that I've helped the vulnerable as much as I can. And I want to just die knowing that I've done that. I don't want to die with any regrets. And that's what I personally strive for. And the thing is, people don't think about death, so they don't think of that scenario. But I always think that, you know, if you're wondering where you're at life, just think, all right, well, if I was on my deathbed tomorrow and I look back with what I've done, and don't get me wrong, we've all made mistakes. I've made huge mistakes in my life, as we all have. But if you can right the wrongs, and, you know, as best you can, it's not always possible. But, you know, the key thing is being you, being true to yourself. You know, don't censor yourself for other people, for a group, whatever. You know, be who you truly are, and explore all your gifts and express them to the world. Okay, so what else have we got here? Thank you for your input. I was seeking. I think I've answered that question. I think they were all one connected New Age faith from New World Order, one religion. Yeah, hi Marnie. Yeah, it's definitely a religion. The New Age. It was created as such. When you look at the work of Helena Blavatsky, who was a Luciferian, they entirely created this. I've done so many videos on all the different deceptions out there within the New Age, the honey traps that they leave. And I was speaking about, I went on my partner's channel earlier today, and we were talking about this idea of forgiveness. And one thing that they mention in the new age is that you should just forgive everyone, right? Which is extremely dangerous, because you might still have just say you've been through abuse, right? Child abuse. There might be an aspect of your being, you might have a 5 or 6 year old child within your subconscious that is extremely angry, upset, and horrified still by what happened by that person, right? That inner child part of you is nowhere near ready to forgive that person for what they did. So if you have if you go ahead and do that, that inner child is going to scream and cry within your being, within your emotional body, and you're going to feel worse for it, because you've gone against something that a subconscious part of you is very, very um, against, essentially. So for that reason, we have to be very, very careful when we forgive people. Are we ready to forgive? Do we truly feel like we should forgive, or is it because some new age guru has told us that we should just forgive everyone? And the other thing is an apology. Has the person even apologized? Because there is an energetic distortion when we fall out with someone or they harm us or whatever. So that energetic distortion needs to be amended, and that can be done through forgiveness. So if the person hasn't even apologized for their behavior, and you're just going to go ahead and forgive, again, there's a misalignment energetically from there. So, and you can see, right, with the new age religion, if you're a controlling, dominating force that wants everyone subservient, then the best way you're going to be able to do that is to promote a forgiveness for all evil. Okay, imagine that. So people are going in. So we're supposed to forgive these people that abuse children in government, that kill children and whatever they get up to, go to wars, bomb. We're just supposed to forgive all that. Because it's part of this new age. So you can see how they manipulate the new age to bend to what they want people to be like with their horrific actions. So it's definitely a religion. Hello from Miami. Hi, Samatis. Nice to have you here from Miami. Truly apologize for responding. Not sure what you mean, Javanka. What do you mean, apologize for responding? Oh, I think you're referring to someone else's comment there. It's all good. Yeah, Kirk Plain says it's okay. Anyway, can you recognize humanoids? I can see when people have got heavy entity attachments. I can see them working through people. Most people have, well, everyone has a certain amount of AI working through them. I think the more you are manipulated by the matrix, the more you engage with matrix things, like porn and low vibrational behavior, drinking alcohol and that kind of stuff. I think you open yourself up to more infiltration and more energetic attachment, both through entities and through AI. And you have people that are AI programmed, but you also have the mind control of the Stockholm syndrome. For those of you that don't know what Stockholm syndrome is, in the 70s there was a bank robbery in Stockholm where hostages were held for, I think it was up to a week, something like that, and they actually found that the hostages started to protect the hijackers. They started to defend the hijackers, and this is what humanity is. This is rooted and entrenched in the human psyche. This Stockholm syndrome. And so what happens is, when you even mention to people about being sovereign and being free from government and things like that, the agent Smith within them will step forward, the Stockholm syndrome, and immediately try and shut you down. So when you wake up, you move out of that mind control. But then there's also the other stuff that potentially is going on as well. You know, the AI and etheric manipulation. So I just want to make one thing clear: no one is 100% clean 100% of the time. You know, I still have to clear myself energetically every day. Um, these things shouldn't be feared. I want to make that clear as well. Sometimes, you know, I talk about my work and what I'm finding, what I'm clearing, and you know, people get a bit freaked out, and you know, you start talking about reptilians, draconians, and all this stuff. But losing my voice a bit here, sorry. But we have to realize that humans are much more powerful than them. They need us more than we need them. And we have to have that mindset. They are much more scared of us waking up than you know, than what they're doing. So so yeah, it is recognizable. You know, I done a great podcast with Jerry Marzinski recently, who worked in psychiatric wards with people with schizophrenia. You know, you can see the attachments. You know, you can see the possession. It's possession basically. But there's AI possession going on as well. Things like Morgellons, where these nanobots, nanotechnology is latching on to brain neurons, and certain people are more targeted than others because, you know, they carry a blueprint. Everyone's targeted in different ways, you know. So we're all targeted. We all have this to a certain extent. You know, I do still. I haven't found everything yet. I'm still finding new stuff. But yeah, essentially, we still have this stuff running through us. So obviously, the work that I do, I try and clear as much as I possibly can. And you are able to connect much clearer with your essence, your higher thought forms, and that kind of stuff. But it's a modality that's still work in motion. So I'll put all the links in below for anyone that is interested in working with me in the description below. If you're interested. So Kirk Plain, what's your question again? I must have missed it. So please, if you wouldn't mind making your question clear, because I've got a lot of things going on in this chat. He said he was lagging. Oh, hi Lisa. Yeah, you keep missing the live stream, don't you? Lisa, yeah, I worked with Lisa. Lisa is a fantastic artist. I've seen her work. She does this like conscious art, which I don't know what it does to people, but it triggers something inside of them. It kind of like wakes you up almost. So I don't know if you've got a website, Lisa, or a YouTube, but I'd encourage people to Google her work if you're into your art. Fantastic art. I will order some actually when I get my permanent residency. At the moment, I still need to work that out. But so there's no point in me buying any art at the moment. But I haven't forgotten about it. We are looking everywhere. TT, hi TT. We are looking everywhere, or is it a coincidence? Not sure what you mean about that question. So if you wouldn't mind just repeating what you want me to answer there. Each one of us is a piece of the puzzle. Think about that. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone has a piece of the jigsaw. Think of it this way, right? Without you being here and expressing your true self, we couldn't do what we need to do in this world. You're here for a reason. And maybe you don't even know what that reason is yet. A lot of people that I work with, they're a little bit confused. They're not sure. You know, your job really is to find what your gifts are. No one can do that for you. A lot of it's, you know, for some people, like say Lisa, one of her gifts is her creativeness through her art. Other people, it's, yeah, as I said, being a conscious parent, or being a writer, or being a good speaker, or being a good healer, or it's not working in the supermarket 9 to 5. You know, that's the matrix. That's the matrix purpose. I'm not saying there's anything inherently wrong, because we all have to earn a living. I'm not like putting anyone down that does that. I used to work at Waitrose, which is a big UK supermarket. God, that was a long time ago now. So I'm not putting anyone down. Just saying that uh, our purpose is our higher purpose is something that benefits the all and gives us a happiness. You know, I work more now than I did in previous years in banks and all the other stuff that I used to do, real estate and everything like that. But I'm fulfilled. Like doing this now, it doesn't feel like work to me. You know, it's coming from the heart. I love doing this. So, you know, what they say is find what you love and let it kill you, and that's the name of the game. What else have we got? Nice to see you too. Sleep is when we're most vulnerable. Yeah, because we go into the astral. You're right there. There's this big, again, whether it's new age or, you know, astral traveling. Everyone wants to astral travel. For me, the fourth dimension is a trap. I wouldn't. I would not want to. I would not consciously choose to go there. So whether that's through psychedelics, whether that's through astral traveling, I you know, it's just there's just nothing good there. All the good stuff is in the much higher dimensions. It won't come in and interact in the fourth dimension. So really, if you're going to go there, you want to do all this, you know, astral travel and psychedelic. And again, it's truth mixed with lies. You'll get wonderful insights, but then you'll get the dump in the punch bowl. And so, yeah, sleep is when we're most vulnerable. It's when I get attacked the most. There are ways in sometimes, you know, you can set the intention before you go to sleep to stay in your body. What I've found as well in terms of nightmares and bad dreams, so a lot of them are projected. They have holographic themes that they project into us through night. They have technology that creates these nightmares and bad dreams. A lot of them are based on our subconscious wounds. And because the astral body is overlaid, which is one of the overlays that I remove in sessions, these entities will feed on your energy through the night. So this is why you can sleep for 12 hours and still feel drained in the morning, because you've been used as food during the night. So they do have technology, but again, I think a lot of it, they use it hooks in on our woundings, right? So just through what I've experienced in my own life. So yeah, I still get attacked partly because of what I talk about. Obviously, in that dimension, I'm one that they'll definitely want to try and mess up, and I have to clear myself most mornings. But in terms of the nightmares, I found that the more subconscious work that I did, the less nightmares I had, because, you know, a lot of my subconscious stuff, which was maybe not about not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, being persecuted, all that kind of stuff, which, you know, most people have the not feeling good enough one. I think that's one that runs through the collective consciousness of the planet as well. But I found the more that I did work on myself, that they would kind of use those ones against me less. So I have a feeling that it's linked again to subconscious wounds also. What else have we got here? Sleep is when we're most vulnerable. I'm testing the waters, what's out there. Tony, did you say thyroid? Oh my God, there's a whole host of new stuff. I've just updated my stream. Guys, I'm really sorry about, I'm just going through questions one by one here, so apologies if I'm not getting to your questions. Where are we? Oh, well. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm just catching up. All right, here we go. Yeah, I did say thyroid. The thyroid, you know, it controls our metabolism, so it's a very key gland in our body. They even take some people's thyroid out. Can you believe? which is not good. Any body parts that they want to remove. Good thing I don't have an idea of who you are, but we're looking together. Thank you, Tony, for speaking. What totally resonates with me. You're welcome. Yes, how come we're attacked 24/7? That's why I'm no longer fearful. It makes me push back. They drain us. Yeah, don't ever be fearful. You know, the way to approach it is, yeah, we're in this reality where there is a parasitic consciousness and there is stuff that is trying to take our energy. It is there, but it can be removed. And we can, fear is their game. The more we're in fear, the more food for them. So just remember that. Remember, fear is food. Okay, so great information, opinion, putting many pieces of the puzzle. Thanks, Kurt Plain. It's happening often in this type of channels. I don't recommend astro traveling yet. We've spoken about that. I don't either. Dreams difficult to discern. White translucent cobra. Well, cobra is serpent energy. That's a malevolent being. I would not. I wouldn't give that one much attention. Probably. What did it say? You're beautiful. I tell you what, witness sovereignty. These things are so sneaky. They know you better than they know yourself. They all know what buttons to press, right? You know, if you've got a subconscious wound of not feeling good enough, they will press that button. They will even tell you things that you want to hear. They will stroke your ego. You know, you're here to try and save the planet. You know, you're really special. You're here to have a purpose. But, you know, they'll ramp that up. They'll find what works and they'll use it against you. And they're like, imagine they've got a keyboard, right? They'll keep pressing the buttons. And whatever button works best, they'll keep pressing that. And for some people, it's the negative. And for some people, it's the positive. I tell you, they are, I tip my hat, right? And I've said this before. I don't like what they're doing. I hate what they're doing. I think they're evil, but they're so bloody clever. They are so clever, and I do tip my hat to them for that. What they've managed to create here, although it's a system of slavery, is absolutely genius. And this is why people get caught up with the false white light beings, because they'll have an archangel that will come in when they're meditating or something, tell them how special they are, tell them that they'll have special information they have to bring to the world, and then all of a sudden, they're getting all these people hooked in with archangels. Archangel is is archon, right? Arc, the Arc de Triomphe. The marble arc. It's an occult symbol. It's a satanic symbol, demonic, right? It's telling you. So yeah, be careful with anything that appears and blows smoke up your backside. I'm not saying that there's not good stuff out there, but chances are it's not going to come down and interact in this dimension. It's just too dense here, and we're here to sort this out ourselves. We're here to sort this mess out ourselves. We have free will. We've been hijacked, but we partly created this. We need to undo it all. That's the job. Lucid dreaming. Right. What have we got here? Hang on. Yeah, lucid dreaming's interesting, because if you can control your dream, see that is slightly different. It's something I need to explore. If you can control your dreams, theoretically, you're less likely to be manipulated. Something I'm going to explore. I've actually bought some lucid dreaming books, so I'm going to get back to you guys on that. So, but astral traveling, well, lucid dreaming is a type of astral traveling, but you're conscious in your dream. But what's happening with astral traveling? They're going in conscious. If you're if you're going into your dreams consciously, but you're consciously aware of these types of manipulations, that is different. If you're lucid dreaming and you're trying to astral travel and you're unaware of false white light beings or entities or anything like that, that's when you might get tripped up. because you're then open to manipulation. So it's a good point, lucid dreaming. Get back to you guys on that. I've seen the eyes as well. Yeah, having problems with my sleep. My left ears. What else? Yeah, sleep. You know, we've already discussed. You can be open to stuff. You know, it's. I've been chased one too many times. Yeah, chasing. Okay, what else we got? Yeah, they're looking for vessels completely. Looking for vessels. Yeah, and basically, some people are kind of soulless at the moment. They've lost their soul. Not lost their soul, but you know they've got very little light. You know they've had a lot of trauma, so perhaps they've turned to drugs and alcohol, and it just completely opens them up. Gateway may not even be their fault. You know, like I say, it's through trauma. They've just taken the wrong path, or you get. Or, the psychedelics are a bad one. Extremely, if you're going to smash open your consciousness with psychedelics, you know you've got to be prepared to suffer any consequences. I'm not saying you can't experience insights, but I've worked with people. I've spoken about this before. You know that they've they've been fine on the Friday, they've gone and taken DMT or ayahuasca at the weekend. They're saying they're getting suicidal thoughts. And obviously the really hard drugs now, like meths and what's the other stuff that's coming out? I don't know, forget the name of it, but they're really heavy ones. They you know you can see that on videos on YouTube. That they just completely open up to heavy attachment. Stopped a website from trying to program me. Yeah, website programming. Yeah, stuff coming through the internet. Yeah, you got to be careful what you're watching at night before you sleep. You know, my partner, she probably won't mind me saying, but she'll watch. You know, she likes to look at the dark side like me. She'll watch something about Luciferianism before she goes to bed. You know, she's getting nightmares, and I have to clear her in the morning. So just be careful that music, even some of these mainstream music artists, you know, certain frequencies are being put in the music that can mess with you. I'm gonna have to go soon, guys, because my throat's sore. I don't normally talk this much. How can we clean ourselves? Well, you keep your energy clean. Yeah, just you know, don't partake in drugs, alcohol. Do your inner work. You know, get yourself as clean as you can energetically, which is obviously the stuff that I do. You know, you don't have to come to me. I'm not saying that, but so we got Hear Me Too and what they're doing. Yeah, Oprah was talking about stop how many times trying to spy and program me. We wake up and feel my feet, spine tingle. Yeah. Yeah, as I say, AI is one of the main distorted forms of consciousness trying to use us and use our energy. So okay, I'm just going to answer one or two questions. We've been going for over an hour here, so my throat's really killing me. So I hope that's okay with you guys. Okay. Right, I'm just scrolling down to the bottom now. Where does choice and personal circumstance meet? Oh, this is a good question. This is oh, hang on, I've got her on. Kirk Plain, I'll get back to you in a second, but I've got to answer Guy's love child message. James Gilliard is at the ECTI ranch. Not sure, but I'm having that. God, I heard about this guy years ago. He just is talking a load of trash. The UFO, the UFO movement is a big psyop for me because you know, they want to push this project. There's a thing called Project Bluebeam as well, right? I don't know if you haven't looked into it, look into it. But they're gonna use like holographic technology, right? And they want to fake like a fake alien invasion. And if you've been looking at information over the years about how you know, how the aliens are going to be landing, then you've got Trump talking about space, you know, space army and all that stuff. It all really goes to show that perhaps what it is they're going to be pushing. And I think Ronald Reagan said years ago that you know, if there'd only be one way humanity unites, and that's if there was an alien invasion, right? So they're going to use this holographic technology already exists, right? Because you look at they've started to do concerts with like Michael Jackson, where there's a hologram with him with this and his music's playing. They've already got the technology, right? So my feeling is what they think about what they say that is UFOs is actually military craft. This is what I think UFOs are. Now, what does exist are interdimensionals. So I think that they're confusing aliens with interdimensionals. So people like James Gilliard and this whole alien stuff, none of it resonates with me. Who's that guy? That one that looks like a lizard that talks about it. He goes on about the oh my God, what's his name? He actually looks reptilian. He's like the front man of the UFO community. He's been there years. No, not David Icke. No. Oh God, I can't think of his name. You guys might know. But anyway, yeah, all these people, I think they're just pushing in an agenda. So, sorry, I'm just going to have to scan through some of these. Greer, that's it. Stephen Greer. Thanks, Kim. Yeah, I mean the guy looks reptilian. Yeah, Corey Good's another one. Greer. Yeah, everyone's saying Greer now. Yeah, yeah. These guys, these are clowns. You know, anyone that appears, like, let's put it this way. Yeah, Wilcox. Anyone that appears on Gaia TV, right? Gaia TV is like net. They even say it's the Netflix, right? Netflix is all propaganda. Anyone that's on Gaia TV, yeah, I'd give it a wide berth. You know, these people are controlled opposition, and I think the whole alien thing is. So that's my 2 penneth on that. Oh, Javanka, sorry, I have to acknowledge a super chat. Javanka, you've been kind enough to donate 25. I think that Canadian. I don't know. I'll check it out after. But thank you for the bottom of my heart for that. That's going to go back into equipment for the channel. Maybe I'm going to get a green screen. Any super chats that I get are going to go back into the channel. So Javanka, thank you for that so much. Appreciate it. What else we got? I'm getting back into it now. I was going to go, but I'm getting like a second wind. Steve from Canada here. Greetings. Have you talked about Kundalini? Kundalini awakenings are not great. I don't think they've overlaid the Kundalini. So when people have Kundalini awakenings, they siphon off the energy. So I don't think that that's something that we should be really striving for. 33 vertebrae, I think there's something in that. 33 is a very, very like strong occult number. You know, you've got 33rd degree Masons and all that stuff. Because, you know, numerology, 33 is the master number. So the fact that we have 3 vertebrae is very telling. Woke up at age 33, interestingly. My opinion on binaural beats. Frequencies people are using. I don't agree with connections going. Our connection's back. Connection just went. Yeah, what I don't agree with is binary. So yeah, I would say binary. Be careful with subliminals. Again, subliminals are spiritual bypassing, and yeah, you're not gonna be happy just because you say it to yourself 500 times. Oh, scroll's just going mental here. What else have we got? Is he, Jeff? I didn't know that actually. I don't watch Gaia, so I don't subscribe to it. But I didn't. Is he talking on Gaia? I don't know. Interesting. You want to keep trusting your instinct. Oh, what's it called? Do you know Tom Campbell? He was from Monroe Institute. I don't know Tom Campbell, and I don't know Monroe Institute. Something that I need to research. So, okay. Any other questions, Monroe? Oh, military complex. Yeah. Okay. No, I don't know. I don't know Tom Campbell. I mean, God, you can go through the dumb bunkers. I think they exist. They definitely got clones of themselves. So you know, and I think there's all kinds of weird stuff with clones of rappers and things like that. So do you know Kirk Plain? What's your question? I must keep missing it. I ever see a UFO? Have I ever seen a UFO? Oh my God! Me and my partner were in Thailand last year, and we used to live in the mountains, so there was not a lot of light interference. And one night, oh, it was weird. For about 2-3 days prior to that, we saw like weird flickering lights. And then one particular night, we just, I don't know what it was. It was a massive light that was flashing, and it would look like it was just out above our house. But I'm still not convinced. I'm still not convinced that they were aliens. I'm still wondering whether it was military craft. I have seen weird stuff, yeah, and I've definitely seen entities and stuff like that. Loads of entities. I see them in people, and through the work that I do as well. It's so very hard to find a safe place. I've only recently came out of indoctrination, feel attacked from all sides. Yeah, the thing is, when you start waking up from the amnesia, and then especially when you start going metaphysical, where this kind of work is, then that's when you're likely to really get interference and attacked. But in a way, the way I see it is, if you're getting attacked and interfered with, then you know that you're on the right path. It's when you're not getting interfered with an attack, that's when you know you probably need to revise where you're going. He promotes Gaia on his website. Yeah, I don't know. He's not on Gaia. The thing is, if your channel's monetized, sometimes I think it comes up. I don't know, so maybe it's to do with that. But it's kind of, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place, because a lot of us that are on YouTube, we we don't like working conventional jobs, and maybe it's to do with that. Who knows? Do you want some water? My partner, True Sovereign Self, is yeah, I would like some water, please. She's a star, isn't she? True Sovereign Self, check out her channel. Yeah, I could do with some water. Have we got water? I think we ran out earlier. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if the water turns up. If it doesn't turn up, I'm going to have to end the feed soon. I'm attacked constantly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know, guys, we're in spiritual warfare, so the attacks will happen, especially on if you're on the right path. So, where does choice and personal? Okay, yeah, that was it. Okay. So this was it's in capital now. Kirk Plain, you're getting really frustrated with me, aren't you? Where does church accountability for a situation? Where does choice and I think it's all about personal responsibility. Um, I'm just trying to understand the question. Can you break down the question a little bit for me, because it's getting late here and I've answered a lot of questions. Uh, and hopefully I'll be able to answer that. Where does choice and my brain's not working now. Where does choice and personal circumstance? Um, okay. Uh, okay. It's multi. Okay, I get your question now. It's multifaceted. Okay, so I'm not giving all blame to the entities, because the entities get in on not only our behavior but also on our subconscious wounds. So if you are and we are also enslaved in some degree as well. So if you're going out drinking alcohol, snorting cocaine, then you're opening a gateway for entities to come in. If you're if you have a lot, see, entities get in on trauma as well, heavy trauma. If you've had child abuse, if you've been through SRA abuse, if you had a car accident, if you were knocked unconscious, anytime you're really out of your center, that is when attachments also come in. And that may not be your fault. That's not your own personal responsibility. That's just circumstance. So basically, the entities get in on both our behavior, if we open ourselves up, and also our woundings and where things have happened to us. So it's both. It's actually both. His channel has is very large, which makes me wary. Yeah, I don't know, Dawn. Jeff has always come across very well to me. You know, I've had a lot of people come to me through his channel. Um, you know, if I was speaking truth, I don't think he'd have me on his channel. I've got some water arrived. Thanks, love. Um, we, we've run out of water. We've got a big water tank, and we've only got this much left. So I'm running on it. I'm literally running on empty. So. Do you think parasites could cause nightmares and the problems you associated with interdimensional entities? Have you done parasite cleanse? Do I think nightmares are and the problems associated? Yes, as I said earlier, I think they have technology where they are um, thought injection technology and holographic technology, which they are using to implant nightmares and certain holographic themes. And as I said before, when we're in an emotional, anxious state within these nightmares, struggling, running away from things, the interdimensionals are there that are feeding on our emotions, basically. So they're messing us up by implanting the dreams, and then as the astral body is overlaid, feeding on that energy as well, which is why I say you can feel tired after 12-hour sleep. Well, all information is good these days, I guess. There are people always awakening. Yeah, I think Tony is being attacked. Most seems too early to explain. You give blame to entities. I don't understand. I, I don't understand that question. They are to blame to a certain extent, but we're also to blame when we open ourselves up. Anything else to save your life? Um, Hi, Dr. Virtual. How you doing, man? Yes, being sovereign and accountable to self is a solution. You have given a great reply. Thanks. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it's, as I said, it's multifaceted. So we got there in the end, Kirk, playing with your question. It's only taken me an hour and 35 minutes to answer it. Right, guys, I'm getting really tired now, as you can probably see, even though I've got the water. So I think I'm going to end this. It's been a real pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for your support. As I say, if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, bell notification, all that stuff. I'm going to go and get to bed. What time is it? Just gone 10 o'clock. So yeah, good luck, everyone. Enjoy your week, and I'll be back with you with some new content shortly. All right, take it easy. Bye bye.